And we are back. Welcome back to the For or Against podcast here on Nick Hall Comedy. I am Nick Hall, joined as always by
Josh Griffey.
If you're listening, or wherever you're listening, I should say, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, jam those like buttons or leave comments. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It all helps. And also, it's for or against. If you have a for or against topic that you'd like to hear discussed on the pod, go ahead and just throw it in the comments. We might do it. If it doesn't suck. If it doesn't suck. If it sucks, we're not going to do it. I'm not going to lie.
Also, if it sucks, may sneak in.
Maybe.
Hard to tell, yeah.
Yeah. Chances are, if it's about poop, it will get played.
That was fast. That was less than a minute.
I had to do it.
I mean, this will not be the fecal deep dive.
No. Yeah, this is a less fecal episode.
Yeah.
I think is also
give us time.
Yeah, we'll get there though. You never know. I mean, we're known to devolve. Yeah, also if you want some sweet Kent Murphy gear, some Trash Rose gear, some Hump 2020 gear, go to CoachKentMurphy.com/shop. End ads. Okay. All right. It's a big week. We'll put out another Kent Murphy instructional video. What was it?
Warm-up pitches.
Well, yeah, warm-up. Yeah, warming up. Yeah. Because I always hated when I didn't pitch that much when I played, but I always hated warming up.
Right.
Because I always just felt warm. I was like, I'm good.
You're like, I'm like 15, dude. My body's perfect.
I've only got maybe 8 good pitches in me. I don't want to waste 5 of them right
You don't want
now.
to show them your stuff.
Yeah.
I always hate it, and then it's like coming down, and then it misses. The outfielder's got to get the ball. It makes you look like a bunch of scrubs.
Oh, my coach used to get pissed like whenever that would happen. If the catcher threw it down and when the outfield, or like when you're going around the horn. Like
right.
after, and then somebody throws it away. My coach be like, "God damn it!"
He looks so cool.
He's like, "We just made it out. Now we look like assholes." Like he'd get so mad about it. And I was like, "You're not wrong, pal.
It's true.
You're not wrong. Well, that's why you shouldn't have put fucking Jimmy on the team. He fucking sucks. I told you that."
I will do a brief for against right now.
Ooh,
I am against.
Is this a bonus for against?
Bonus for against dudes throwing it around at horn in slow pitch softball.
Yeah.
Nothing you do is cool enough to be, let's whip it around the horn. And then there's always the guy who doesn't know the order. Yeah. So it's like now you're just playing catch and slowing the game down.
Yeah.
Making an out in slow pitch softball, not cool.
You don't have to throw it around the horn.
Yeah. If you do anything, it's if a guy strikes out, just throw the ball at him hard. That's it. But against the throwing it around the horn.
Yeah, if the guy strikes out in softball, fuck him. He's a loser. Everybody gets one whack with the bat on his knees.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking Goodfellas' ass. You motherfucker.
You motherfuckers.
That's my Joe Pesci. What the fuck did you call my fucking friend? You motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I think a lot of slow pitch softball guys are Joe Pesci's.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I want to be the bigger, tougher man than I am. All right, what do you got today? What's your first? You want to start or you want me to start?
I don't care.
I'm ready.
All right. We'll dive right in here. Okay, so I'm going to start with a sports-related one. So last night, I don't know if you watched any of the basketball games.
I did. I've been winning money on the Nuggets, baby.
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
Made maybe the block of the century. I don't know if you saw that when his hand went like all the way in the basket and he just stuffed that dunk, game-tying dunk in overtime. It was impressive as hell.
Yeah.
But it got me to thinking, and one of my least favorite rules in sports is goaltending in basketball, specifically offensive goaltending.
It's on the cylinder.
Yeah.
You can't hammer it back.
So my for or against the goaltending rule in basketball, specifically offensive.
Offensive goaltending, I'm 0% a fan of.
Yeah.
Right? If someone shoots a basket, because I'm just like, what's the difference between that and an alley-oop?
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
I guess you're saying it's a defensive.
I understand the defensive because you can't just have a guy under there just like swatting every shot that goes up.
Well, then Taco Fall isn't wearing a polo shirt last night. He's in the game. Although that might be cool too. Like there's no more just shooting threes. It's just going hard.
You got to go to the rack.
To the rack. It's like, hey, Taco Fall, we're going to snap your twig arms.
But offensively, I think it's a stupid rule. Like, the guy shot the shot. It went off the rim. And, like, if you're the other team. Now, like, as soon as it hits the rim, I think anybody should be able to grab it. I don't care if it's in the cylinder or not. As soon as that's a missed shot, it doesn't matter if it's in the cylinder. You should be able to jump up and grab it.
Yeah. That's
all I'm saying.
If you want to make the shot, get it in. Don't, I get 5 extra bounces.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
And also, Kawhi would not have won the championship last year if that was the rule because of that 5-bounce shot that he sunk, which was awesome.
The 7. Yeah. Well, Joel Embiid would have been too busy doing a Hulu ad to actually like try to stop it. But I mean, because here's my thing, right? Like, if the ball's up and it's an awesome play, right? You fly in, you dunk it.
Yeah.
I guess the only argument I can imagine is like, the defender's at a disadvantage because if they touch it on accident, then they're in trouble. We'll take that shit out, like you said. And if you are worried about a guy flying it over you and tomahawking the dunk home, don't let him do that.
Yeah.
Get in his fucking way. Yeah, because I hate this all the time. Because someone brought up the point last night, and they're like, was the Adebayo dunk or block almost a goaltend?
No.
Because you're like, his hand was like in the cylinder or whatever, right? And I was like, no, it's
the fucking stuff.
Because when Tatum went up, you're like, this is amazing. You're like, this kid's about to tomahawk home, more overtime or game win. Like, it's awesome.
He's about to yak on this motherfucker. Yep.
Yeah, but it like took me a second to realize he didn't dunk it.
Yeah.
What? And it's like, when's the last time in the NBA you're like, look at that defensive play, right? Like, that's an amazing play. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to let these dudes just dunk it home, man.
Yeah, well, like my theory, my idea is, if your jump shot isn't WAP, if it's not a wet ass jump shot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's got to come. If it's coming off the rim, bub, you don't got to wait for those bounces. You can take that shit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, how is it that different than an alley oop?
It's not.
Right? Like, I'll throw it up by the rim and you can hammer it home. Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, that's also the thing. Like, if your guy shoots a J and you're like, I don't know if that's going in, you should be able to just go dink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those, there are like weird little rules in basketball I don't, like for me, I hate the, you can't be in the paint rule.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a defender, all right, so my defender is going to stand in the paint all the time. He can't jump up and just goaltend.
3 in the key, baby.
Fucking shoot it, right? And pull him out and then fucking run past, right? If he's standing there has to be another player who's freed up.
100%.
And it's like, to me, there's just weird, stupid rules in every sport
that don't
matter.
There's different zone defenses you can't play.
Yeah, that's just...
it's like illegal defense.
Let them do whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
If you want to put 5 guys in front of the rim if you're playing Giannis...
There's a shot clock.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you want Giannis to be able to, like, get dunks and shit.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, like, whoopsie-daisy.
You know what else I think should be allowed is that when Bam... Either, no matter what happens on that play, if Tatum goes up and yaks it, right, like just fucking power jams it, like that would have been fucking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Instead, Bam pulls the opposite power move and just goes, nah, bitch. Mm-hmm. And I get that out. I think the whistle should blow, the clock should stop, and either Bam for the block, or if Tatum dunks it, he gets one free teabag on the other player.
A teabag? I thought you were going to say a free throw.
The guy has to lay down on the court and get the other guy's nuts on his head for no more than 3 seconds, but no less than 2.
And then you just get that. You get the cameraman doing the slow push-in. The small picture-in-picture is just the TNT studios. And Charles Barkley is going, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
And then you resume play. And then you resume play.
Instead of Shaq in a pool, it's like the new segment. Yeah, I mean, here's an idea. What if you if you get rejected like that?
Yeah.
You are out of the game for the next 2 minutes. You're kicked out of the game, and you have to watch on an iPad the slow motion replays of your block.
Well, plus, like, there could be borderline, like, teabag plays, like, where it's like a really good play, but I don't know if it's teabag. And so they have to go back and review it. Like, he's like, no. The guy's on the court, he's like, no, I get
it's like this, actually. Pull your nuts out.
Player's waving his hand. He's like, Coach, Coach, review that. He's like, I get to put my nuts on his head. That was good enough.
You could have a special bench for it. Like, when my favorite thing is when an NFL quarterback throws an interception, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like Baker in like the very first Cleveland.
Fucking Phillip
just
Rivers.
being the losers they are, the Browns again. Cleveland just infested with weeds and losers.
Yeah.
They show the bench shot, right? And there's a guy on a bench with his coat on, like looking at iPads and printouts of papers, like, how did this happen? It's like, well, you fucked up. But now imagine that shot that as you see them looking through the printouts and the iPad, just giant nuts on their forehead. And then teams could have like a specific guy who's maybe like the 11th man. Like he's normally the guy who cheers, right? He's like, oh, he's not playing, but he's like the hype man. Like for the Lakers, this would be like your Javales or Dwight Howard's, right? They become the guy who just stands. Dwight Howard would love that, right? Doing like comedic, overly excited faces while his nuts are on someone else's face. I'm into anything that shames a person you're competing against.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
And also, like, just for my own pleasure, anytime you flop, you get nuts on your forehead. LeBron would have nuts on his forehead 8 times a game.
Yeah.
8 to 9 times a game, LeBron would just have nuts on his forehead.
You want, like, the hardest core punishment. Yeah. I mean, to me, like, I watched the Denver game last night, and it's out of control where... So Jokic is just this giant...
He's unreal.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? So fucking good. There were about 5 plays in the second quarter where he'd run down into the middle of the lane, right? Just loafing down.
Yeah.
Big body. Yeah. Like, people are going to touch him. There was one where Patrick Beverley is literally standing there, and it's almost as if, oh my God, this giant fat guy's going to run me over.
Yeah.
The moment Jokic touched him, whoosh, whiplash, flipped his head back, and the referees just, like, whistle immediately. And you're like, do you think that's an actual... fucking foul in the course of a basket? But he did it 6 times probably in the first half where anyone comes near him, right? Someone
it's the only way he can make money. He's an awful basketball player.
Who, Jokic?
No, Beverly.
Oh, Beverly. No,
it's the only way he can make money is by
Beverly got called for the foul.
Oh, he got called for it.
Yeah, so Jokic, who's a superstar, and could earn his money.
Yeah, Beverly's an awful basketball player.
Patrick Beverly getting dunked on last night on Twitter by McCollum and Lillard.
Dame got him good.
Yeah, Dame's like, maybe I should extend the Cancun.
Dame got Paul George real good last night, too.
Yeah.
When George put that shot up off the side of the backboard. And Dame just tweeted, look good to me.
Yeah, right. Should we just expand that? Like, Paul George should have gotten teabagged for that shot. That is the most embarrassing corner 3. But that's...
I'll tell you what, the residents of Indiana would all like to line up and put one nut on fucking Paul George's forehead.
Just one?
Yeah, they want to make a holiday like every September 15th. It's nuts on Paul George's head day, and he just has to lay down at Bankers Life Stadium or Fieldhouse.
He just starts to get like that indentation.
He's like,
I
shouldn't have talked that ish.
Yeah, I just think I love basketball. NBA basketball right now. At this stage of my life is my favorite professional sport.
I think it's the most garbage product in the world.
See, I think...
Like, it's open gym basketball.
I think it's the most consistently good product we have. I think the rules don't interfere as much. Like, football's become hard because it's a lot of flags and penalties and, all
That's
these
why I love hockey.
things.
Hockey's the only sport where the referees really don't interfere with the game at all.
That's
at
true.
all.
Hockey is the best going to live.
Yeah.
Like, based on where I'm at, it's harder to, like, have
But
a
I'm
hockey
saying,
schedule.
like, hockey, the officials in hockey have the least to do with the game than any other sport. And that's why I love it.
I mean, you get, like, a major but normally it's, like, pretty fucking obvious.
Right.
Like, if you fuck up in hockey,
right.
it's pretty
But there's no
obvious.
flopping. There's no fucking... every time Ovechkin gets into the crease, they're like, "Oh my god, penalty shot." They don't.
Yeah, can you imagine how it's like, doing the Jokic like head snap? But I'm with you. If I'm in the NBA and it's like, how can we help make this product better, right? Because I think it's really good right now.
Just call the rules on everybody, not just like some of the people.
Sure, but I would do
enforce the rules on Harden and LeBron and Kawhi and like that'd be cool if they did that.
LeBron is getting older now, and I know he's like the man. He's run this shit for a long time.
Yeah.
But him every time, like the people that are asking for calls while there's still an active rebound and shit.
Yeah.
I would say that's an immediate 1-game suspension.
And
if you are like yelling at the refs and doing the, come on. Like, I saw Kelly Olynyk doing it last night. I'm like, bro, you don't have it like that.
And also, you're not getting that.
You don't have it like that. Yeah. I mean, maybe if this were like a headband convention.
There's not one Kelly in the league that's getting those not Olenek, not Kelly Oubre. You know what I mean?
No, but that's how I'd come down. But see, that's why I think you get back to this. You go in and earn it. You throw down the dunks, and if you do shameful things, you get teabagged, right?
Agreed.
A flop, a complaining about... I hate the complaining for the whistle while the fucking play is happening.
Yeah.
That is how I would come down with some hammer punishment if I was
Agreed.
sober.
And we got derailed there. We got to wrap this segment up. Against offensive goals.
I'm against offensive
cylinder.
goals.
Anything in the cylinder, I'm against that being a
Once it hits the rim,
it's
or
a live ball.
live. All the fucking
So we're both against. All right, what do you got?
All right. Let's do a little politics, and not in the normal way, right?
Okay.
So, this is one
I'm against it.
Yeah, right? Like, almost a
whatever you say against.
Here's one of these things. It's the most 2020 headline where I was like, this is probably the end times and Godzilla's around the corner. So, on Joe Rogan's podcast, he was talking to this former MMA guy, and the guy said the only way we'll get a real good debate is that Biden and Trump should come into Joe Rogan's bunker.
Yeah.
And do 4 hours with Rogan as the only moderator.
Yeah.
They can do drugs or drink, whatever. I'm assuming it's Rogan.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you made Trump do drugs and Biden do drugs before they debated, awesome. But, so this was put out on Twitter, right? Do you think that we should do this Joe Rogan pod? Trump came in and said, I'm in.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, what an absolute abomination of an idea. Is this how far we've fallen? The more I thought about it, though, I think I'm super pro this format.
I'm 100% for it. And I'm also 100%. Joe Rogan mediating between those two idiots would just fucking be the highlight of my day. Because he just wouldn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
He'd call them both fucking morons. It'd be great. Plus, like you said, if it's in his lair where he's got like the drugs and shit, like they can do whatever they want, right? Mm-hmm. Like Biden would probably like smoke some dope or something.
He'd score cool
and
points.
Trump would just be over there pounding Big Macs like in the corner, just one. Like he'd have a KFC, he'd have a KFC chicken wing, a Big Mac, a fucking tub of Diet Coke, and it'd just be fucking magical.
Right, but I think what would happen is that Rogan would award the comedy. Because I think Trump would just go in on the, I'm going to personally insult you. Yeah. And Biden would be playing the, oh, guys, come on, let's talk about real stuff. And I think they would just eviscerate him for 4 hours.
Yeah, but, oh, man, Rogan would tear him to shreds. It'd be awesome.
But then I thought about it, right? And I was like, I'm a political, not junkie, right? But I pay attention. I read a lot about it.
I don't.
There has never been one debate that I've ever watched in my life where I really learned something about anyone, except for, oh, that person can deliver a pre-practice line. I think we need to get rid of all of this shit.
There's never been a good debate. Like the debates are the debates are just like 2 hours of them not answering any of the questions that are delivered to them by whoever the moderator is. They acknowledge the question, they repeat the question back. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, business ethics, and then they go on this side rant about some minuscule achievement that they did. Mm-hmm. Loosely related to whatever that question is. They're like, business ethics. And he's like, well, that reminds me of the time that I once shook a steelworker's hand. And then they go on this other diatribe about other nonsensical shit. Yeah. And then they throw insults at their opponent. And that's it. None of the questions ever get answered. It's just, it's a really mild roast for 2 hours, like without very good jokes. Yeah, that's all it is.
It's awful.
Yeah,
and it's like I saw this week, like Biden, they're like, oh, he's a little underperforming with Latinos. So he came out to a podium,
shocking,
and like an old man, right? He's like, he played Despacito, and then some guy's like, yeah, get a Joe dance, and he's like, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this the world?
Justin Bieber's Canadian.
But it's just like, is this where we're at? Like, I think, not to say that I like anything about Trump, right? And I am on record of, if black magic were a thing, like there would be dead chickens everywhere in my house.
Everywhere.
And that guy would be like a mutated little stump pig, right? But the one thing I think you have to say that I think is a benefit of him is that he's shown us how stupid a lot of these political things we have built into our lives
Sure.
are.
Yeah.
The idea that at a political, because the idea of those two just fucking jabbering at each other,
Yeah.
trying their fucking stupid thing, it's unbearable to me. You're like, haven't we been through enough this year?
It really is. Yeah.
But here's my pitch to you, right? So maybe not even Rogan. Take Rogan out. I was like, dude, this is a perfect time. Hopefully this will be the last election where it's just like 85-year-old white dudes, right? Like, that would be my new rule. If you're over 70, fuck that. If you're over 60, you can't have office anymore.
I agree.
You're too old. You're not going to be around long enough.
I would
You don't
almost
get to
call
fuck
it
everything
50.
up. Yeah.
You got a 15-year window from 35 to 50.
Yeah.
And then
30.
you're done.
No, by 30, dude, you've already achieved stuff in life. If you're like,
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's
yeah.
where the rule is. At 35, to
30 to
run
50,
for office,
and then get the fuck out of
And
here.
you're done.
Because younger people should be determined.
yeah,
in
and then
the
it has
future.
to. I agree.
Yeah, so get these old fucks out. But while we have these old fucks, grumpier old men. So running up to the election, right? And I know Trump has a job to do, air quotes, which is, poop tweeting and eating fast food. So essentially has the same job as me. They get locked in a fucking cabin in the woods. And all they do is like go sit on the front porch and you two just fucking talk and bitch at each other.
Yeah.
And you'll see real fast what they actually believe, right? I don't want their handlers around them.
Right.
If Joe Biden really is a sundowner, I want to see him like fall asleep fishing. You know what I mean? And I want Trump to like draw a dick on his face.
That's a great. That's like the Odd Couple.
Yeah. And
It's
just
like
imagine,
we're bringing back every other sitcom. Bring back the Odd Couple.
bring back the Odd Couple. This
for
would be
those
the
two.
big if our politics and our world is legitimately a reality show now, which it seems.
It is. Yeah.
Right? Because I was telling you, I read this thing today, and this guy was like, the amount of information we think we know about politics is like 0.01% of what we. Your angriest neighbor who's like, I heard on Ben Shapiro. They don't know anything about anything, right? We don't know how any of this stuff actually works.
Ben
but we get
Shapiro
really
doesn't
mad.
like wet ass pussy, so I don't like wet ass pussy.
I also hate wet ass pussy. Yeah, my wife hasn't had one in 8 years. But that's like, no one knows enough about this to really be scholars. We just fight and yell at each other. All
That's
right,
why I
cool.
don't participate.
So turn it into a TV sport. Turn it into a fucking. If this
It's like
is all it
Idiocracy
is,
right now. It's like fucking Macho Camacho. It's running for president.
Right, and that's what I mean. If none of this shit's gonna matter anyways, that at least I think honestly we'd have the most real world election of all time.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing is Trump gets run out there and he has just enough to where like he can say a couple words.
Yeah.
And then he starts slipping back into his like open mic routines. Joe Biden looks like the fucking crypt keeper, right? Like when I see him, I saw him at the fucking DNC and I was like, do they not have a makeup dude? Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Put some color on that man.
Bad. Well, here's the thing.
They both look horrible.
I'm for Joe Rogan moderating. I'm for it. I'm against politics. I'm just against them.
Against all
the way across the board. I don't give a fuck. Democrat, Republican, Independent. I'm against all of you. I think you're all fucking liars and scum. I don't like any of you.
Well, right.
I don't like any of them.
And I hate the.
I don't like the idea of government. I don't like the idea of
shit.
a bunch of old ass men sitting around telling me what I can and can't do.
You just want no laws. Nothing.
Yep.
So, like, if I said, Nick, someone came into my yard today, and because they were mad, they took a weed whacker to my child's face.
I'm not saying no laws. I'm saying, like, the bigger picture.
Whoa.
I'm saying the bigger picture.
Is this your platform?
Yeah, bro.
For Hump 2020?
Yeah. I'm not saying no laws. I think there should be less laws.
I think everyone thinks there should be less laws, right? Maybe less laws that actually work.
Yeah.
Because all the rich people can just cheat their way out of it.
Yeah, they can buy their way through it.
Let's start with this.
Dude, if I were a rich man, I would break the law every day.
How do you think people get rich?
No, but I mean, like, I'm talking about like terrible shit. Like I would just do.
Epstein in it.
Yeah, if I had Bezos money, I'd be like I'd just like kill somebody one time. I'd just like kill him and be like.
You think Bezos hasn't killed a man?
No, that's what I mean. But like I'd just like be like, let me see if I can buy it. And I'd like turn myself in and be like, I got enough money. I'm good.
Dude, check this out. I read this week if Bezos,
I wouldn't. I might.
You would.
I would.
You absolutely would.
I'd steal people's cars and shit.
You're like, no diddling.
They'll be like, aren't you Bezos? You're like, yeah, but I got enough money to get out of it. It's more fun. I could go buy this car, but it's more fun for me to bribe judges and buy my way out of it.
Corruption is hilarious.
Like, I got shit to do. I got shit to do Wednesday, man. I'm going to go bribe a judge.
That old bit that Drew Carey used to do back when he was a stand-up, and he's like, my favorite activity is when it's really pouring, I go to speed. Right? So the officer's like, Do you know why I pulled you over? And he's like, do you know why I was going that fast?
That's a great bit.
Yeah,
That's a great bit.
Dude, I read that Bezos, if he gave every Amazon employee $150,000 right now, he would be the exact same amount rich as he was before the lockdown started.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think that man's doing everything legal and cool? No, fuck that. But this is what I mean, right? So I'm with you. We need to break all this down and restart in a way.
Yeah.
First thing we do, you get rid of all the political leeches, right? I'll train you how to say every word exactly right and blah, blah, blah. And here's your time. Rip that shit out, right?
Yeah.
If these two dumb fucks are the only thing we're left with, lock them in a fucking house.
Lord of mercy.
Right? Make them fucking do it, right? Do we really think Trump's doing any work in the next 3 months? No.
No.
You just give them a cabin in the woods with a golf course so they can play golf every day and shit. And you just watch them. And you say, which of these guys sucks the least?
Yeah.
And that's how we pick. There's no more Democrat and Republican, no more parties, no more old people. But I think we start with, you really put them in a house and you're like, all the lies you think about those guys would disappear.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's even beyond that. Like, what you do, you just make the real world out of it. Because first of all, you should have more than two options anyway.
Yeah.
So you get like fucking, you get like 9 of these motherfuckers. Yeah. Throw them at, like, you got Pete Buttigieg or whatever the hell, however you say his name. You got like, all the Kamala Harris. Like, throw them all in a house. Let them live together for like 3 months. Like,
did someone dip their finger in my almond butter?
And also you bring back, you do those guys, and then you just throw Puck in the house with them. Remember Puck from Real World?
You get a wild card.
So you just throw him in there to like fuck shit up. Like, he's not running, but he's just there to like poke everybody.
You get one TikTok prankster, like a real young TikTok prankster who can throw out, like, he's the Joe Rogan then. So the TikTok prankster's like, WAP, what do we think about that? And Bernie's like, it's communism. You just get these old guys like, what's WAP? And you see there, but that's what I mean.
Bernie would just be walking around that house like, it's so hot in here.
You just see him turn the AC too much.
I don't really want to hang out in the common area with you guys. It's too hot in there.
But all these old voters are like, oh, God, he really is on that thermostat. That's my man. But that's what I mean. Like, how about this? No more 2 terms. Yeah. You get in, you do your job 4-6 years, whatever.
You're done.
And then you're done. So all the new candidates can be in the reality
house. Take you out like a horse. They take you out to pasture, and that's it.
Dude, these motherfuckers already get mansions and
Secret
Service
saying,
when they're done. Oh, done.
To the glue factory you go, you old horse.
Who's going to build all the houses with Jimmy Carter falling down and hurting himself every day?
He had a peanut. Okay, so we got to move on.
But that's what I mean. You read the Joe Rogan headline, you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, actually,
I'm into it.
Way better than what we do now.
And also, like, if he gets really mad, he could just start doing MMA moves on him, and it'd be fucking great.
Could you imagine? He double chokes them out. And he's like, I'm your president now!
I'm your captain now!
Fuck yeah. Dude, I think we just fixed America.
I'm into it. So, for Joe Rogan.
For.
Against politics.
Yeah.
Politics.
On that pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. This one comes from a YouTuber on our YouTube, Hayden Sweet.
Hayden Sweet.
Are you for or against bringing your own food to a movie theater?
This feels like a trick question.
Sneaking in the food.
This feels like a trick question,
and
right?
And drinks.
Because I am... that's a loaded one. Against it? I think I'm against it, right? Because the reason the prices are jacked up is that's how those buildings stay afloat. Right? And I need movie theaters to come back and be around. But I feel like what he's talking about, like something I've seen before, this motherfucker brought in the spiciest, smelliest foot-long sandwich once. And so right as the movie starts, I can't remember what I was seeing, but I just see this guy and he's like, I thought he was pulling out like the world's biggest dick. I'm like, is this a flasher?
Yeah.
No, it was literally a giant full of... And then he's eating, and I'm just smelling like fucking jalapenos and horseradish shot, and it just fucked the movie for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you really didn't have fucking 10 minutes to smash that in your car before the movie starts?
Bro.
I hate that.
Okay.
Where do you fall in this?
I'm for it. Like I said,
other than candy and
like
stuff.
I said before, fuck the rules, man. But like, yeah, okay. So to your point, like the reason they jack those prices up is because that's how they survive.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay.
Is that how I said it? Wow.
Well, if you have to sell me a Coke for $9, then you have a poor business model. If that's the only way if that's the only way you can survive is with $9 Cokes and $10 popcorns, then you don't have a good business. You know what I mean? That's number one. And also, I'm not paying $9 for a Coke and $8 for a fucking Twix. I'm going to pay $3 for the two combined at the gas station, put that shit in my pants, and I'm going to the movie. But my favorite time that we ever did it, so one time, this was before like the concept of like serving alcohol at movie theaters was even like a thing, right? So me and Chucky, we were hanging out at the bar. It was like we were day drinking one day, getting loaded.
Yep.
And I can't remember what movie came out. We were like, dude, I forgot that movie was out. Like, let's go fucking see it. Because it was like a block down the road, the theater. So we got fucking road sodas. We got 2 to-go boozies.
Oh, yeah.
And so we go to the movie theater. And it was, I think it was fall time. So I had a jacket. We both had jackets. So I had like this little pocket inside. So I just like put my drink in there and just like gingerly walked.
Oh, no.
Chucky put his in his waistband. A styrofoam cup. So we get to the window, we get the tickets,
right,
and we're walking in behind this line of people. We're like right to the guy that has the tickets, and Chucky's fucking drink bursts, like all in his pants, and he's just standing there. And the guy taking the tickets like just stares at him. He's like, "What was that?" And Miller's like, could have been my colostomy bag. And the guy's like, "Oh, real funny." And he's like, "Yeah, we had drinks." You know? And they didn't let us into the movie, so we didn't get so we just went back to the bar. Yeah, and they didn't refund our tickets either.
Now we had that once because I am on record. I'm very anti booze in the theater. I told the story on this pod, I think, where I got attacked during Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, we've been through that.
Hate that. Hate the idea of drunks in the movie. But I remember in college, we went to, Ball State and Muncie. Like, the idea that there aren't people drinking in movies is asinine.
Yeah.
And my buddy brought in, like, the little, homeless guy size bottle. We were passing it around.
A pint?
Yeah, right? It's like, why is this a thing, right? Like, get a normal bottle like an adult. Sorry for homeless adults, that was rude. But we're passing it around, and some guy's getting mad, right? And we're like, it's during, like, the third X-Men movie, like, the worst movie I've ever seen. And you're just like, well, at least I'm drinking. I'll be at the chug in an hour, like, no big deal. Well, we start, like, they ratted us out. So this guy comes up, and he's like, hey, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. You're drinking. And I was like, ooh, fuck. I'm like, tough talking.
This is at Ball State?
Yeah. And so Joe, my buddy's just this big fucking King Kong looking dude.
Yeah.
And he leans over, he's like, we got him. And I was like, what's your plan here? We're going to beat this guy's ass and leave him dead on the stairs and watch X-Men? I was like, I'd rather just go drink. But he's like, we could definitely take him.
Rush him.
I was like, that's not the point here. But it is hard because I was like, at that point, too, I'm like, you're ruining the movie for all these other people.
Yeah.
Like, just let us watch the end of the shitty movie.
Well, that theater at Ball State, man.
The one right over by the door.
Yeah, that place was a shit show, man. So we one time we went, it was when Old School first came out, the movie Old School. Yeah. And it was me and a few people from the dorms. And my buddy Dave was like, I'm bringing drinks. He's like, so bring a drink, And so, like, again, I just had, like, this to-go cup, and I was like, I can hide that easy. He fucking showed up with a 2-gallon jug of vodka and orange juice mix, and he just, like, held the 2-gallon jug like this under a jacket, just, like, gripping. And he was, like, getting his money with one hand and trying to pull it out of his wallet. He's like, I just can't move this arm, Like,
it's brutal.
And they didn't say shit. They're like, yeah, go on in. Yeah, and we went in there, we were just, like, passing a 2-gallon jug around in the movie theater. I had to go back the next day and watch the movie again because everyone was like, that was awesome. I was like, I don't remember a second of it.
I'm blackout drunk.
Yeah. Well, not even that. We just weren't paying it. We were being just clowns.
Yeah.
And nobody cared because everybody in there was like drunk and yelling. It's just a bunch of college kids.
It's Old School. Yeah, that's what happened wonderful. To me. I saw Anchorman at an employee screening and we got hammered. It was like midnight. I'm already drunk. And I don't remember the movie at all. But they're like, you were essentially De Niro in Cape Fear. Every drunk like, ah! And so like everyone was furious.
He's watching it.
Yeah, because I like was blacked out just laughing. I'm like, I think it was hilarious. My throat hurts from laughing so much.
Max Cady.
Yeah, they're like, you ruined it for everyone else in the theater.
Yeah,
it's because when I worked at a movie theater, right? Like you see these old fuckers always trying to cheat. And I'm like, don't lie to me. Yeah. You're not that smart. You're not that clever. I know you're cheap. Fine. But, like, my thing is I used to get revenge a different way. Because I would, like, if I knew people were fucking around and they'd lie to me and insult me, right? Essentially, like, we're clever, we're outsmarting the little fucking best boy. I'd go in the theater and I'd follow, I'd watch them, right? I'd be like, hey, watch the stand. I'd go, like, find out where they are. I'd go back in and I'd hide under the seats with my fucking spray bottle. And I'd go, tss, 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 and I'd spray water on them. Yeah. You'd see these guys like, what the hell? The AC must be dripping. And I'm just back like, tss, tss, tss. And then I'd leave and they'd come out and they'd complain to me at the stand. Like, somebody's dripping on my head. I was like, what? I was like, wow, that can't be objective reality. We don't share an objective reality, do we? And then I'd run back and I'd like spray his wife in the glasses. Ah! And I would do this forever and I never got busted. But yeah, it was just like,
that's fucking awesome.
If you're going to lie to me and be a little fuck, I'm going to do I'm 16. They can fire me. I'll make $5 an hour. Right. Yeah.
Else. Who cares?
Yeah. So my thing, I don't like the abuse of it, right? Because it always inevitably leads to the guy who's bringing a giant bag of fast food.
Yeah.
And then you're like, now my fat inner self is like crying that I'm not eating fast food instead of watching a movie.
Right.
It ruins the experience. I'm not for ruining the cinematic experience.
Well, like I love going to the movies.
Yes.
Anyway, like it's one of my favorite things to do. I just really, but like I used to have a buddy that worked for a movie theater. Like he was a manager for a movie theater for a long time. And one of the coolest things, and you used to work at theaters, so you probably did this, but like he would do like after the theater closed, like, oh yeah, boys, let's go. We're gonna watch like a movie that's not even out yet. Like they got the, just like 4 of us in the theater, dude. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, well,
like that shit was awesome.
We used to have to test the prints to make sure they were quality.
That's what he was doing.
So we'd get drunk and smoke weed and build the prints back. We had to actually like connect all the film, and then we just watch like 3 movies till 5 in the morning. And
he would like make us popcorn and shit. It was fucking awesome, dude.
The best.
It was great.
It was great.
Here's so I'm against, or no, I'm for sneaking shit into.
I'm
the
against
theater.
bringing your own food.
Other things that I'm for in the movie theater is the dick in the popcorn bucket trick. If you got a date,
yeah,
cut a hole in that. Get yourself a handful.
Well, then you got to buy the $10 popcorn. So that's a real catch-22 for you.
Then you got a buttery dong too. An old buttery dong.
Little A, little B.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
So that's the only way you'll buy theater food, is if there's a dick trick involved.
Yeah, that's the only way I'm buying the tub of popcorn. Is if I think I'm gonna get JO'd by a probably less than attractive woman, because that's why I'm taking her into the dark.
Yeah, because like, would your date be like, why is he not eating the popcorn? Once she touches the dick, is she like, all right, wait 30 minutes while I eat enough more popcorn so I can stroke you? Do you dump the popcorn out and waste the $10? That's how you know if it's a keeper or not. If she just like, she shovels through it and just like moves your dick to the side and gets a handful. She's like, put your dick away. And but she still eats the popcorn. Could still be a keep. She's like, I already poured my M&Ms in there. It might still be a keeper. Like if they get up, if they're appalled and they get up and leave, but if she like that, she's not a keeper. But if she JOs you, keeper. No, probably not a keeper, because if she JOs you, she's probably a hooer. I don't know. I'm keeper. Yeah, keeper on that. That's effort, baby.
If she just like gets annoyed and just moves the dick to the side and just grabs and still eats the popcorn, could be a keeper.
No JOing though.
Yeah. She's like, get out of here. We're gonna have more fun than that. And you're like, ooh, I wonder what we're gonna do now.
I'm not taking this butter off.
Well, now I'm extra hard. I can't take it out yet.
That is so fun. I don't know anyone who's ever pulled that off successfully. I would like to know. Do you have to keep eating the popcorn? Do you just lift it up and pull your dick out and then you do it there on the side? Like, I've never. When I worked, that was one of the guys I sprayed with the water bottle, though. Because I got a complaint.
Where do you jizz?
Come on.
You better eat as much of that popcorn as you want before you JO.
Everyone knows you be a grown-up, you pull it out real quick. You
have some salty popcorn.
No, you flip your underwear up over your belly and save the planet.
But if it's into the popcorn bucket already.
Yeah, you pretend you're scared and go, ah! Throw the popcorn in the air.
It's like, now I'm picturing, like, what if you finish the popcorn and then you just got an empty bucket with a limp dick pushed through a hole.
Just those little hard unpopped.
And then you look at the girl and you're like, I thought you were going to jack me off. You love popcorn. Why didn't you get any popcorn?
No, I saw a guy, we got a complaint. And they're like, I think they're doing sex acts to each other.
Yeah.
Because it was this one movie where this couple must have thought they were alone. It was like a classic, like, guy in like an American flag tank top with like the sunglasses on in the movie. right? Like he had the ones that you normally see on their foreheads, like
Yeah,
down.
well, they're probably blue blockers.
Well, yeah, it was also summertime, and he had his like biker jacket over his
Sure.
vest, and it's just
Why
or
wouldn't
over his lap, and you see it going. I was like, so they thought they were in the theater by themselves, and this elderly couple wandered in. Right? I think it's like a Diane Keaton film or something. And I was like, dude,
That's so hard to get J.O. to a Diane Keaton movie.
not J.O.'d. He was getting a full-on blowjob.
Ooh, a blow.
Right? And that's why he had the blanket over him.
I can get blown to
And of
anything.
course, I was like, well, I can't stand for this. This is a lewd act. And I hid behind the seats and pss, 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 pss. I started spraying him. And because he started like kicking his head back and doing like these weird, because he wasn't like, he had his one hand on the head and the Jason. He's like whipping his head around and just.
What a badass.
He probably came harder. He was probably into it. Because
He
he
probably
did not
did.
stop the blowjob.
He's like, oh, it's wet everywhere. This is great.
Something's leaking on me, but I'm in. I'm all the way committed to this Diane Keaton movie and this blowjob. Yeah, so against. I'm for the buttery
It's like
popcorn
getting blown
thing.
to like a Bout Schmidt.
Yeah, I think in 2020 though we shouldn't do surprise dicks anymore. Let her know.
Yeah, that's probably a bad
Say
idea.
you tell me, what do you want? Like what kind of topping?
Yeah, because then that
you want
blurs the line of
flavors?
consent. And yeah.
It's 2020, man. We can't be living loose like
No
that
more
anymore.
popcorn. No more buttery dongs.
No, you ask her, but you're like, hey, because you know now they
Hey,
have
do you
like
mind
those
if I
different
stick my
flavor
dick
powders.
in this popcorn?
Yeah,
Is that okay with you?
yeah.
Odell Beckham's like, will you poop in my popcorn?
They're like, yes.
She's like,
Keep
yeah,
her.
baby. Yeah. What you got? Final one.
All right, so final one.
You're against. I was for that.
I read an article this week because we live in a world now where people have to constantly find things to be mad about, to be upset about, to move the line of
100%,
society,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I read one this week, and it was a real head scratcher again. It somehow got linked to me because I'm a parent, I guess. A lady who I think is some kind of like doctor in like child science and psychology has come out and said that tickling your children is a form of child abuse now.
Sure.
For or against tickling people?
I'm against it.
You're against tickling.
My fucking older brother, man. Man, he used to get me.
Yeah.
I hate being tickled. I hate it.
Yeah, and this is the weird
It's
thing.
my least favorite thing.
I don't have a dog in this fight. I am not ticklish at all. Like my wife gets mad and I thought about it, I was like, I do it only to annoy her.
Yeah.
But she's super ticklish.
Yeah.
And there are, you know the place, and it's like she will crumple like she's being tased to death.
Yeah.
And I know I'm doing it only to get that thing. It's not like we'll share a laugh.
I'm extra ticklish, and I fucking hate it.
It is
being
one of
tickled.
but that's what I mean. The article, you're like, that's stupid.
And I don't think it's fucking child abuse. I think that's asinine. But I don't like tickling people either. Because then I start.
You don't tickle.
No, because then I start thinking about like, how would I feel in that?
You get phantom tickling.
I'd pull the Jesus on him like, how would I feel in that situation? You know what I mean? Because I'm living righteously anyway.
True.
As
obviously.
is. Like, I live a righteous...
You're just eating dick popcorn and pondering.
I already
ethics.
live a righteous life. So who am I to tickle when I don't want to be tickled? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's
yeah.
it's weird though, because it's one of the, like, I saw one. There's one like 2 years ago where this lady's like, your infant, right? Like your newborns, you should ask for consent before you change their diaper. And I was like, oh yeah, bitch, I'll have him like fill out a triplicate
Get
before
right
I
on
like
that.
wipe the shit off of him.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't want to be down here either.
You know
Like,
what? You know
we got
what's
work
great
to do.
about that though? Is that lady is sitting there with a fucking 2-month-old kid going, do you want me to change your diaper?
Yeah.
And the kid's just going, ah! And just shitting more.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I didn't get consent. And then she just has the smelliest fucking kid in the world and then gets like a fucking disease from all the poop in their diaper that stays in there. And she's like, well, he didn't get consent. And it's like, and then never does she stop to think, I'm fucking stupid. Whatever.
That's the kind of karmic punishment I would like.
Yeah.
Her house, she's on the new hoarders, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, there's just shit diapers everywhere.
Because those people just never stop to think to themselves, hey, I'm fucking stupid. And,
Right.
and my ideas are fucking stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought immediately when I read this, because my kids are very ticklish, right? But they always do the like, don't tickle me, but it's like a wink, right? Like, please come tickle me. But it can, like, it hurts them at a point where they're like, enough. And like, they'll start punching and kicking at you, right? And you're like, all right.
I'm a flailer.
Yeah, like my wife will do that too. Like it's like she's coming at you, like she'll punch you in the nuts. It's horrible. But I thought about it and I was like, is she right on some level, right? Because like if I walked around in public, right? Like let's say we're in like a Target,
Yeah.
and I just started going in on tickling my wife.
Yeah.
and she's screaming and flailing, what do you think happens to me in like the next 1 minute? Like someone's laying me out.
Yeah,
right?
That dude that had the biker jacket getting blown at the movie theater. He runs out and he's like, hands off that woman. You know?
This is my way to get her back in the movie theater.
I'm 3 steps away from the Hells Angels, man.
I'm working my way up. I'm in Sons of Anarchy.
I'm in the minor leagues of Hells Angels.
But that's what I mean. So if I was doing that in public, right?
Yeah.
But then if I was doing it to my kids, no one would care, right?
Yeah.
It's like if I'm tickling my kids in Target, they're like, look at that dad spending quality time. His kids are laughing, not realizing that they're on the edge of like, oh, stop.
The
if
idea,
you do it to your wife, though, or like if I did it to you. If me and you went to a bar. If you tickle
me, you're getting fucking punched.
Well, I am a man of social science. I like to be a learned scholar, right?
I'll drop you like that homeless guy on
I don't
Skid Row.
I don't think you got enough knuckles. I have a very big head, and I'm actually shockingly quick.
You don't have enough bullets.
I would never punch you back, but you would hurt your hand punching my giant face. You would.
Shit.
And these glasses are only $11 now, so I'm not scared. But this is what I'm saying. So if we're at a bar and I came up behind you and I gave you the old half Nelson, right? So you're like locked in. I use the girth and pin you against the bar.
Yeah.
And I just started tickling you. That would cause anarchy.
Yeah.
That's not an acceptable thing to do.
It'd be the weirdest thing, because like...
What do you think people would say?
You're used to bar fights. You're like, oh, we got to go break that up. But if you just saw 2 people tickling each other, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ask for consent to break this up.
I think people would be afraid to touch you. They'd be like, the ticklers.
Well, I got like, my brother used to do the thing, my older brother, where he'd fucking put his knees like on my shoulders so I couldn't move my arms. And then just fucking, he'd just go to town and like torture, like doing that shit to my chest and then tickling. Yeah. But I got good at them. Like I got good enough to where I could fucking like swing my legs up and get my knees around his fucking head and like pull him back. And then that's how I finally got him to stop.
You're doing like pre-MMA stuff on him.
Yeah, I was trying to. I had to do anything, man. I couldn't take it.
Well, dude, you've seen the
and
documentary,
to this day,
right?
I fucking hate it. Yeah.
You're like a big documentary
Oh, yeah, the
fan.
tickling. Yeah. It's fucking weird, man.
So this documentary on HBO,
well, that's the thing.
It's about professional tickling leagues.
Yeah.
Which is essentially these men get strapped up and other men just tickle them to the point of
these guys
like
pay
agony.
people to come to their house just to tickle them.
But that's if you're paying for it, good on you. That's your own fucking thing, right? But what I'm saying, should we make it a thing where you cannot tickle someone else?
Yeah.
Is tickling gone too far?
No, I don't think it's. I'm not. No.
Then I'm going to tickle you.
I'm against tickling.
I'm going to tickle you in public. While we're dressed in our kid.
But I'm against tickling as like a general practice.
Right.
Because I don't personally like it. But here's the thing about not personally liking something.
Here it is.
It doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't like it.
Sure.
And I'm not fucking self-important enough to think that my opinions are the gold in society. Looking at the rest of you.
Wow, look at that drop. So, like, if you saw me tickling
and I think
my
that
wife,
mindset,
you'd be like, that's uncool.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be like,
I'd just be like, I don't want that to happen to me. But I don't really give a fuck.
Better you than me.
Yeah, I'm not a vigilante. You know, if you're in peril, you should have been in peril, man.
To tickle children. What about children? Defenseless children.
Fuck them. I tickle my nephew.
Your own children. No.
tickle my nephew every now and then.
If you're tickling non-related children to you, or
my nephew's related to me.
That's what I mean. That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you're tickling other kids, that's already against the law, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Other kids you
well,
don't
that's the thing about like the idea of tickling sounds way weirder than when you actually perform the act of tickling. Like when I tickle my nephew, it's like, haha, and we're like running around.
Right.
And it's like funny. But when you think about just like going up to a kid and tickling him, it's in like the thought of that is really fucking strange.
Could you imagine the horror? But this is what I'm saying. Let's say I'm on my phone, I'm doing some work, and I look
and
up.
I just started tickling
and
you.
I'm at the playground, and a man who looks like you is holding my son down, tickling him. I would immediately throw my phone and be like, there's a fight to the death that's occurring.
I don't think that's a widespread problem, though.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It could, but this is what I mean,
could
right?
be.
CBS did a whole show about an uncle who slapped the shit out of his nephew. They called it The Slap.
Yeah.
Right? These kids are being assholes in the backyard. They're all fighting, and one uncle walks up, bam, smacks the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And then it starts this whole family drama that's like 5-episode miniseries. Terrible show. Stupid premise.
Very stupid.
I was smacked by
a lot.
all kinds of adults when I was a kid.
Yeah. My grandpa used to whack the shit out of me, man.
Also, that
in the
kid's
back of the
dad.
head.
Well, yeah, but that's But also, I'm like, if you're that mad about it that it's like 5 episodes worth of drama, you would have thrown hands.
Yeah,
you would have thrown hands, even if you're the pussiest like elbow pad sweater wearing guy ever. You throw the hands.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. That's like an actual physical assault. I think you could make the case to most people that you would almost rather someone smack your child than be tickling them.
Yeah.
There's something way more invasive and creepy about tickling.
It's weird.
It's weird. Like I said, if I came up to you in a bar and weird. I started tickling you and you couldn't get out,
I'm against
like,
that.
Help, help, help.
I'm against it.
You're against tickling in general. We need to remove this from society. Now, if it's 2 consenting adults, you're paid to get chained up and some feathers.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. If you and I are at a bar and another grown man comes up and starts tickling you, I'm going to fucking step to the side and lose my shit. Especially if you're...
You mean like you're going to fight him for
no,
me?
Like if
you're not going to fight him on my behalf?
If you're struggling to get out of being tickled like at the bar, I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off. I am. I'm going to... And then like when it's done, I'm going to order that guy a shot and be like, you got balls, man. You got balls.
The man who's big enough to hold me down and tickle me, right? Like riding a walrus or whatever.
Maybe that's like
that'd be a big dude.
That's like the new TikTok trend. We just... film ourselves going to bars and tickling grown men.
Imagine this, though, right? You and your friends are like, it's Fantasy Football Sunday. Let's meet at a B-Dubs or whatever else sells way more expensive, terrible wings.
Tickle the waiter.
Yeah, and every time someone scored and you're like, I got 5 more points on you, you reached over and did a quick tickle.
Yeah.
Like, not like an abusive, like, I'm holding like a quick tickle. The fuck? What do you think would... Like, you would start getting punched all the time. Whereas if I punched my friend in the arm and I was like, touchdown.
That'd be like my nightmare.
Like, oh, you fuck.
As if, like Al-Qaeda pulls up in a van and they throw me in the van, like, with their black hoods on, and then they just, like, take me to this chamber and they just, like, pile on and tickle me the whole time. I'd be like, just please shoot me.
Yeah, fucking murder me. I'll be in one of your YouTube
and they're
videos.
Like, oh, no.
Oh,
tickling me.
It's gross. It's weird because I had to double think because I tickle my own family because they're all ticklish and I'm not. It's a way I can repay their annoyances back upon them.
They're not terrorists. They're ticklists.
Tickle it. Ooh, man. So I'm that. I'm the ticklist.
Yeah, you're a ticklist.
Yeah. Yeah, because my kids like it. My wife hates it. I
hate it too. I'm with her, yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe this lady's right, though.
It's not child abuse.
If I saw someone tickling my child, that's child abuse.
No, that's just creepery.
That's child abuse.
It's not abuse.
If you're at a playground and a random, strange, full-grown man is holding your child to where he can't escape and tickling him, that has to be abuse. I don't know what the other word for it would be.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right?
What if he's
creepy
like
abuse.
The hillside tickler? And he just like this guy that just breaks into people's houses and tickles them awake. And then he's like, and he runs out.
Nothing else.
He runs out like the drug. He's like,
oh my God, dude.
That'd be more terrifying.
That might be a horror movie.
That'd be more terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's not putting you out of your misery. Then he lives in your nerves for all time.
Forever.
Fuck.
And then every day when you walk around a corner, you're like, is the tickler there? Am I going to giggle my ass off while this grown man fingers my armpits?
You just made it grosser. Yeah. Now see, when you say it that way, it definitely sounds like abuse.
All right.
But that's what I mean. Dude.
Yeah.
We might have to nip this in the bud.
Let's write the tickler.
That is fucking vile. I have done a full turn because I went from thinking this lady was as stupid as the diaper lady.
Stupid.
I think she's right, though.
I disagree. I'm against.
I think we should boycott tickling.
I'm against tickling, but I don't think it's child abuse. If
it's not your child,
I need to see more data.
If it's not your child, it's definitely.
I need
abuse.
more data.
When we're done here, we'll take my son to the playground, and you go tickle a stranger's kid.
Okay.
And I will film the fallout for posterity.
All right, deal.
Or posterity, whatever the word is. I'm not smart enough.
Posterity.
Yeah, I'll film it.
Posturing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's recap it right fast. Goaltending, we're both against.
Yep.
Well, and the cylinder.
Yep.
What was the second one?
The
Joe
grumpier
Rogan.
old men politics. Yeah.
I'm for Joe Rogan moderating.
For
against politics. Bringing movie or your own snacks to the movie theater.
Against.
I'm for. And then what did we just talk about? Tickling kids.
Against tickling children.
I'm against tickling, but I don't think it's abuse. With that caveat at the end.
We gonna find out.
Hey guys, we talked minimally about poop this week.
Hey!
So tune in next week where we're sure to have more poop topics.
We'll be all backed up.
So that way we can get our average back up. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.